Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. Today, me and my wife both are here, but she's in the background. As we had done in yesterday, we had done a video on clearing doubts. So anybody who wants to check the doubts pertaining to combustion, pertaining to Jupiter in the 12th house, which is retrograde, or many other doubts, please check that class number 277. So I think this is class number 278, and we are discussing some informal topics. I think she has some questions which might help all astrological enthusiasts to understand as to what it might actually be. Yeah.
So the most important question, like everybody are going through, is the Rahu-Ketu axis, 1-7 axis. Rahu in Lagna or
Yeah,
Ketu in Lagna.
huge topic. Yeah.
It's a huge topic, and I am talking only related to the marital aspect. There are many other things.
Mm.
There are many characteristics or karakatwas for the first house and the seventh house. But I am right now talking and concerned only about the marital aspect of that native.
Correct.
So whoever is having Rahu Ketu in 1-7 or Ketu Rahu in 1-7, does that person, is it always like they will go through a divorce or separation? Can you please throw some
Yeah,
light
this
on
is
this?
a myth actually nowadays. Many questions come to me. I come across out of 10 questions, two of them will be with regard to Rahu and Ketu, and particularly pertaining to family life, relationship. Whether my marriage will break, I'm going to enter into the Ketu Dasha, I'm going to enter into the Rahu Dasha, what might happen. So that fear is there. That fear is there. So today, what she is asking is about the axis of Rahu and Ketu sitting in the 1-7 only. We are not talking about anything else, right?
Right.
We are not
No,
talking about 4-10 or
No.
3-9. No.
Just 1-7.
Okay, that means either Rahu is in the first house or Ketu is in the first house. Obviously, that means that Rahu is in the 7th house or Ketu is in the 7th house. There are a lot of transformations which a chart can go through. But one thing a person should be sure, Rahu and Ketu are not the planets to give divorce. They do not give divorce. The difficulty comes when the first lord and the seventh lord, they get weakly disposed in the chart. It is like this. Let us say Rahu gives too many options. Too many options, then you will try too many things to do in your life, and you get through a lot of confusions. It's not that when somebody gets too many options that they can, confidently go and do everything. So the point is, if a person has no confidence in life and he is getting options, first of all, if he gets one thing itself, he is not able to do it properly. So now he is getting too many options. He will totally mess up his life. Same thing happens with married life also. There have been many people calling me, when will my marriage happen? And I am searching for, the bride or the groom from many years. And they are not in love, they have not fallen in love, they have not gone through any failures in relationship, nothing. They have this Rahu Ketu in the first and the seventh. First house Rahu, particularly. Why this is happening is the preferences of a person depends on this axis of 1-7. There is also phobia related to marriage with Ketu, particularly with Ketu. And
Sir,
yeah,
could you please take one by one? Like first discuss when Rahu is in Lagna.
that's
and
what I
Ketu in
told. It's a
seventh.
huge topic.
Yeah. So that it is easy for the public or the audience to
So should I
understand.
tell Rahu in 1, Ketu in 1, Rahu in 7, Ketu in 7?
Yeah, no. you can talk together. Like when Rahu is there, so the repercussion opposite Ketu will be there.
Obviously it will be there.
So like that.
So okay, Rahu Ketu and then
Then
Ketu
Ketu
Rahu.
Rahu, yes.
Okay. So okay, Rahu in the Lagna, that is, a person has the character influenced by Rahu. So the want is there. There is an expectation before an event. That's what I was talking yesterday when she was asking me what is the difference between Rahu Sun sitting together and Ketu Sun sitting together. I have clarified it in class number 277, that is clarifying major doubts. So it's a beautiful concept. Same thing here. Before an event happens, the anxiety builds up very high, which actually spoils the person's ability to decide. Because it is like you become blind, you are confused, you are aimless, you are in panic state, or you are having a palpitation. You're like, I don't know what to do, and then you have to decide which boy is suitable for you. And I don't know, it's so difficult. Even a normal person itself deciding, it's so difficult. So Rahu in the first house with a weak ascendant lord gives a lot of difficulty even before the marriage is decided. We are actually talking about married life, how it affects married life. Obviously, it will affect. Why? The person who can go through so much of confusion and tension before even selecting or choosing a partner,
Yes to a proposal.
saying yes to a proposal, will also go through each and every day after marriage with a lot of fear as to whether I'm doing right, whether this is right, whether that is right, whether I should do this, whether I should do not that. So Rahu in the Lagna with a weak ascendant lord will give a lot of apprehension and fear to deal with marriage after marriage also. So before marriage, even in the marriage, they will be totally confused and blank. They don't know what's happening. And then after the marriage, they are like in fear. This happens only when the Lagnadipati is weak. The same Rahu in the ascendant with a strong malefically associated Lagnadipati. This person will be forceful, demanding. I want it to be like this. I want it to be like that. I don't want this. I don't want that. So they know very clearly what they want and what they don't want. But the way they express that will be very forceful. And that is a very dangerous combination for a marriage to sustain, because these are the marriages which end up in divorce. It's not only because, see, if Rahu is in the 7th house, that obviously means Ketu is in the 7th. Rahu in the Lagna means Ketu is in the 7th.
So what kind of spouse it will be?
I'll come to that. So, divorce has many various factors which can actually move to divorce. It can happen. In this case, I am only concentrating on the character of the native who has Rahu in the first house with a weak Lagnadipati or a strong malefic Lagnadipati. I spoke. If the Lagnadipati is strong and beneficially associated, then the native will have total control on what he or she is doing, and there is nothing going to happen, and it's going to be a beautifully controlled and stable marriage. So please try to understand Rahu in the Lagna and Ketu in the 7th house. The marriage will not break because of the native. Now I am coming to the 7th house. The 7th house is the spouse. Usually when Ketu is placed without any planetary influence, that person, the spouse, will be spiritually elevated, or if not everybody with Ketu in the 7th house, the spouse will be spiritually elevated. It will be like that the person has interest in different kind of subjects in life. There will be disinterest also with regard to some things. It is as good as, there are many people who tell that if you are, if you go to a restaurant and you're ordering for something, if the spouse has a Ketu, pure Ketu I'm not talking about any influence on that particular placement. And also I'm telling that the seventh lord is normally placed. So if it is a pure Ketu there in the seventh house, the native who will order the food will be ordering like, organic, sattvic, clean, stable, understanding. So he has to understand the food first. He has to know that after eating this, will my digestive system be stable? He'll go to that level. He will see the food and tell that okay, this is good, palatable. So high thinking, very high thinking. It's not that refinement has to only happen with bhajan mandlis, going to God, going to worship. No, that is not Ketu. Ketu means pure refinement, and this person is very tough to be handled by that Rahu in the Lagna if the Lagnadipati is weak. That person wants, a pastry with a lot of butter and doesn't mind whether it is organic or not, it has to taste well. So, Rahu is for the Panchendriya Sukha, Ketu is for the Tattva. The Tattva means it's not what I see, it's what I get through my sight. That is Ketu. Rahu is I need to explore, I need to see, and I need to enjoy. So even when these two people are sitting in 1 and 7, you need to have a good seventh lord, you need to have a good Lagnadipati if the marriage has to sustain, or else it will end up in divorce. And this is the fear of mismatch, which is always cropping up in these types of marriages. The same thing happens when it is in reverse. The person is disinterested in marriage. Let us say the Lagnadipati is weak and Ketu is sitting in the Lagna. Why should I get married? Why is marriage always a solution for everybody's life? Is it a must? So they'll ask you these questions. You can answer them in a philosophical, spiritualistic way, telling that a companion would be of great support and help for your further research in intellectual pursuits. You need to counsel them to get married. And bad luck if you have counseled them and they get a person who is like, hanky panky people who are very finicky and
drug addict or
drinkers and drug addicts. Both, I will very, very clearly, I am telling you today, Rahu and Ketu, they are very clearly out of addiction. Pure Rahu and pure Ketu. I have seen many charts with pure Rahu in the second house. They are very soft spoken, very nice people. They eat very, cautiously. It doesn't mean that Rahu in the second house, they have to blast on anybody, they will sing shouting, arguments, and they eat whatever they get. No, please don't mistake me like that. Rahu, very clearly I'm telling, it's a fantastic planet if it is not associated with any other planet.
And it's not afflicted as
It's not afflicted. See, Rahu also gets afflicted with a benefic like Jupiter, with a strict planet like Sun, which will never allow Rahu to progress, with a Saturn who will make Rahu mad. So, he'll make Rahu mad, not the native mad. Please try to understand. So, Rahu wants to give, always give. And Ketu wants to refine. It is like Rahu will give you heaps. If you have the capacity to take that, then great. If you do not have the capacity to control what Rahu is giving you, you will go mad. Because he is giving too much.
That is when problem starts.
He is giving too much. He can give you good and he can give you from every angle. So please try to understand. I have seen charts, I'll go to some serious topics here. I have seen charts with Rahu and Venus in the 7th house, Rahu and Saturn in the 7th house, Rahu and Mars in the 7th house, People have gone through physical atrocities in their young age. Why does it happen? Because it's not because of Rahu. It's because of the other planet which is coming there and spoiling that particular position. So 8th house and 7th house, if these positions are there, people would have gone through, what we call as abusive.
Abusive childhood or teenage.
Yeah. So
They don't open
it's
up.
not their mistake. They don't open up. You know why Ketu is in the Lagna? They keep silent. They feel that better not tell anybody. It's one of my relative. It's my cousin brother or it's my cousin sister. I don't want to talk about it and make a issue about it. So it's like a tough position for people with this sort of a combination of the seventh Ketu and with associated with many other planets, which creates any. See, please understand one thing here. One thing. Let me jump into a beautiful topic. The planet which is associated with Ketu will make the native lose interest in the physical characteristics of that planet. So it is like physical characteristics means if somebody touches somebody, they'll feel bad. You're not supposed to touch somebody without their permission, so they'll feel bad. They'll feel that that negative aura, or they'll feel very awkward. And if that happens with your partner, every day you will feel that difficulty, you will leave that marriage. So the point is, which planet is associated with Ketu and which planet is associated with Rahu is a very, very important subject. And that I will be doing when I talk about combination of planets.
It will come in the later.
It comes in the advanced level because I'll be using Saravali by that great king who has done that beautiful book of volume 1 and volume 2 of Saravali. So I will be quoting some of the things from Saravali, and also I will be giving my own experiences along with practical charts. So it's a huge series, so that will come later. But as you have mentioned this particular question, I am very clearly, point blank sure that Rahu and Ketu are not the planets who are actually creating divorce.
Here I would like to add one point. Whether Rahu is in 7th or Ketu is in 7th. When the 6th and 8th is not posited well, and then you have 1 and 7 Rahu Ketu axis, then the chances are extremely high of getting separation.
So that's what, when I told you about, when I was talking about married life and planetary combinations in married life, like for example, I have made a video on Jupiter and married life. Very clearly I have told this particular Papakaari yoga. Papakaari yoga happens when a particular house, any house, now I am taking the example of the 7th house, which is married life, has a bad planet behind it and in front of it. So that means Kartari means is the scissor. It cuts it, it squeezes it, it actually makes suffocates it. That is the word which I was trying to get. It suffocates the 7th house. So he goes through that difficulty of going through married life, or he or she. I mean, it's not any gender. Every person who can see his chart, if this position is there, the Papakaari yoga is there, please check which are the planets which are creating Papakaari yoga. Those are the people who will come into your life and unnecessarily destabilize your married life. So try to keep away from those people or ignore them. Only the way to protect your married life from third person's intervention is to be away from them or ignore them. You cannot fight them. Papakaari yoga is a stronger yoga. It's a very strong yoga. In the context of Rahu and Ketu in 1-7 axis, I am telling. Because you will lose patience and you will create a scene, and then again things will all go against you. Even the partner will feel that those people next to him or her, 6th and 8th, they are more dearer and nearer. No, 6 and 8 is nearer to 7. This is 7. 6 and 8 is nearer to 7. 1 is far away, no? The first house. So this becomes an opposition to the 7th house, because these two planets, or many planets might be there. Sometimes I have seen 4 and 3 here, and only single planet is here, and that's it. No other planet there. So that is a very big, like a garland. So 4 plus 3 7, huge conflict. So that means this person, that is your spouse, is getting influenced by 6 and 8. That is the neighboring houses. If you go to the concept of Tatkalika Mitratva, which I have discussed in my earlier classes, you can understand the friendship of a planet, temporary friendship depending on the individual chart, depends on the neighboring houses. The neighboring house planets are the friends. What if they both are bad fellows and they become your friends? They will not allow you to take your own decision. And what about the person who is on the other side, the native, the first house? She or he will feel left out. That's when the divorce happens. So please try to understand, this is a topic of it's an intrigue topic, very very tough topic to just simply discuss like that. But still, I have tried to put out some points which are actually important for astrologers to understand. Budding astrologers are there. I'm getting continuous feedback from astrologers. It's a beautiful thing. I'm loving it. So I will continue my teaching continuously. So people, please give me your feedbacks. So your feedbacks are motivating me. It's something like fuel to my motivation. Thank you very much today for today's class.
Thank you, sir.